Well, I just noticed a discrepancy between what I have scheduled on my website and what I have scheduled on Substack, because I have 15 posts scheduled here and I only have 12 on the other place. So there's two, I believe, that I have in Substack that I did not put in my website, so I have to figure out what those two are. I have to figure that out, but first I am going to schedule this one for November 8th. It's exactly 1,500 words, like on the nose, which is pretty cool. Problem with free trials. I'm gonna add a few things here. I think we add the image first. And I think it's number 65, right? Here, yep. I'm all the way into November. I actually only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 more posts to write. And then I don't have to worry about writing anything for here for the rest of the year, which is kind of crazy. So I could spend all of October, November, and December just focused on writing my Friday fiction and writing my novel, and not worrying about writing anything for the creative view. My first edition posts I usually write sporadically because it's about what happened the previous month, so it's not like I can. Did I copy this yet? I think I did it now again. So there you have it. And then after that, I put this, and then after that, I put this, and then I paste it all in there, which I should have pasted it from Substack itself, because that one actually pastes perfectly and I don't have to do any editing like I'm doing right now, but that's alright. That's alright. Not a big deal. Okay, so there's that. And I think that's it. I think that's all I do. Oh, then I have to schedule it for November 8th at 8 a.m. And this is going to be the creative view. We are going to, what else? Oh, the featured image. Well, actually, I don't think I need to put a featured image, because once I attach it to the creative view, it should automatically attach itself. So we'll check that right after we view the post really quickly. Okay, so here's the post. It says it's going to take, it's an 8-minute read. Whew. It's a long read. Where's my comment box? Why is it not here? Am I bugging? Oh, you think I think I might have turned comments off. Why do I feel like I turned that off? Yeah, okay. I think I turned it off when I was trying to do what do you call it? Shoot, how do I turn it back on? Let me think. And I was trying to do dark mode, which worked, but I decided to just remove that from my site. I tinkered with it long enough, and then I said, nah, I don't want it anymore. here where I turned off. Yeah, okay, so let's turn that back on. Let's put related posts at the bottom, shall we? And let's see what that looks like. We're gonna go to blog, and then we're gonna look at a blog post from here to see if it doesn't look too janky. And actually, I'm gonna put the metadata after the title. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like that. Okay, let's scroll down to the bottom. Yeah, I like that. I do. Sweet. Okay, perfect. We turned comments back on. All is right with the world. What was the other thing I needed to check? Oh, yes. To see if the featured image put itself there for problem with free trials. Yep, featured image is there. I didn't have to drop it in. I don't know why it's showing me stats. I don't want to see stats. Let's get rid of that column. So we've got author, categories, tags, date, featured image, and hits. Yep, that's enough for me. Okay, so we have 13 versus 15, so I need to figure out of these scheduled posts here, which one is missing. So let's close this. We're going to move it into posted. I'm going to finish writing this post here. And then I'm going to write a 100-word story. I didn't write one yesterday, and I'm not going to be writing one every day anyway. So it's kind of good that I didn't do one yesterday because I don't want people to assume that every day I'm going to just be randomly dropping a 100-word story at any given moment of the day. I would love to be able to do that, but you know, I do have a life and things do come up. So like I wasn't even going to be streaming today because I would have been out for the morning, but plans changed, and so I said, I guess I will just come on then. Okay, so let's work. How is this one organized? It's organized from the latest to the earliest. So I'm gonna scroll down to the 13th, which is do I need to write every day? And I have that. Then juggling, writing, and marketing, I have that. And why is it so hard to start a book club on the 20th? It's right here. I have it on the 18th. So let's do a quick edit and move this to September 20th and update it. Okay, so that's there. And then after the 20th is live streaming for the 22nd, which I have here, September 22nd. And then after that, we've got the 5-year mindset on the 27th. We've got that. Then we've got Twitter versus Instagram for the 29th. We've got that. And then we've got, oh, this one I bet you is what's missing. October 4th, and then automate your social media for the 13th. Oh no, the 13th is here. So Instagram, why is great for writers. Where did I move that to? The 27th. So let's do a quick edit here and move this to the 27th. Update. So I have to put 105 there. Can I refresh this page because they're out of order now? Okay, so let's backtrack a bit. 27th, 29th. Is there really such a big gap? The 27th, 29th, and I gotta do the 4th and the 6th is what's missing, which would be in this week here. And then after the 4th and the 6th is, hold on, I'm like jumping around. The 11th and the 13th, which is Automate and Book Club. Oh, you see, I don't have them in the same order here. Okay, wait. The 13th, do I need to write every day? The 15th, juggling. The 20th, Instagram. Yeah, I didn't write that one yet, so that one can't go there. I'm gonna move it out of the way. And what do I have there instead? Book club and then live streaming. So let's move the book club up. Where is it? Here it goes. Then live streaming. Then the 5-year on the 27th. Yep. Okay, then Twitter versus Instagram. Social media game on the 29th. Got it. And then I'm going to put these two in there. I'm not worried about that. Now we're moving to the 11th. Automate your social media is on the 11th, not the 13th. So let's edit this. Wait, the 11th of what? October 11th. I'm gonna have to update the image, but I can do that without disrupting anything. So how to automate is on the 11th. Let's make sure it's on the 11th over here. Okay. And what number is that? 59, so it goes one back. Again, like I said, I can just add that image here. No problem. There we go. And this saves automatically, so I don't have to like click any other buttons. It just auto saved it for me. So anyway, let me keep going. I need to put something here. What do I have for the 13th? I probably don't have anything now, so I can start moving things up. Yeah, I don't have anything, so let's just take Amazon. Well, let's take this one. Biggest excuse I hear creatives use is going to be on the 13th. And that's going to make it number 60. And I am not going to be moving these anymore. I tell you what. Good morning. I am like trying to organize my newsletter because I have a pretty like I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Oh dear, oh dear. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but that's fine. I'm scheduled pretty far in advance with my emails, so and with my newsletter basically, and I'm trying to organize it so that my newsletter on Substack matches my posts on my website, which match, and both of them match back to my spreadsheet where I'm keeping it all fairly organized. So it's a lot. So I need to schedule this now for October 13th because I'm like several months ahead, and basically I just have 9 more that I need to write, and when I write those 9, I will have the entire year done, and I don't have to worry about writing something for Monday or Wednesday. My Monday, Wednesday emails will be all completed, and I only have to worry about writing my novel and then my Friday fiction that I do every Friday live on stream. So I'm just trying to get everything, all my ducks in a row, because they've been kind of all over the place. And soon, very soon, I'm gonna have like over 500 people on my newsletter, and I don't want any hiccups to happen in 2022. I want to be able to just ride that year pretty swiftly because I have a lot that I'm going to be doing next year, and I don't want having to get all my ducks in a row then when I can do it now. So that's what I'm trying to do. So we have October 11th and 13th. Let me make sure this matches. October 11th. So this one is going to be the 13th. I'm moving it. Also, I have this huge issue of moving these posts around, and like I'm trying to literally solidify them that once they're in and marked on the spreadsheet, that I'm not going to be shifting anything. Like every slot needs to be filled. Some of these blog posts have a specific date when I want them to be released because they coincide with something else that's happening, and so I want to make sure that they stay where they are. But my goal is to reach this dark black line that's here. This black line separates this year from next year, so I just need to fill in going up to basically this line here, and then I can take somewhat of a breather. But then in December, I know I'm gonna have to like remind myself and set a reminder that I need to start writing some fresh new content to take me into filling in these things in the new year, which I have tons. I have like a list of blog posts that I want to write, that number, and like it's probably like a list of 100 different topics and things that I want to write about. So I'm not concerned about that. It's just a matter of writing them. And so, but I want to finish my novel by the end of the year. So again, I don't want to be bogged down with having to do this kind of behind the scenes stuff. I want to just get it over with, and I haven't had an opportunity to do it. So I'm like, well, while I'm streaming and while I do have time to work this out, let me work this out. So Amazon versus indie authors, October 18th. Yeah, you see this one is not on the right date. So we'll move it. And it's going to be number 61. And it really had the wrong number too. Jeez. So let's put number 61. That's the other thing, because I created these images that actually have like a number on it. I need to make sure that, oh Jesus, I need to make sure that I put the right number. So I can't just put any old thing. I literally probably, put too much work on myself doing it this way. Hello, Silent Willow. Welcome. I am doing some maintenancing, as you can see. When did I say this one was for? October 18th. So let's schedule this for the 18th. I was just talking about how I am like way ahead in my blog posts, or really my news. I need to figure out what I'm going to call this, because it's a combination of many things. Like, Substack allows me to take what was normally my monthly newsletter, plus what was normally my blog posts on my website and my, Friday fiction, and bring it all together into one place, which is like an email newsletter blog thing. What I do is, everything that's here that's scheduled to release is all basically evergreen, because I'm talking about things that I know aren't really going to change. And then of course, beyond the evergreen stuff, you have, like you say, the timed content. So that's why these things are so out of sync, is because there will be a timed content and I will feel like I really want to push that out there on Wednesday. And so I have to shift what I originally was going to have come out on Wednesday, because something else happened that was breaking in the media, in the writing community, that I wanted to give a voice to. So I needed to shift everything down. And so that's what's been happening. I've been, creating these evergreen blog posts that go for the next 3 months. However, whenever something timely happens, I end up, having to move things around. And the reason for that is because I don't want to bombard my email list with, a Tuesday email, when I don't typically send emails on Tuesday, just because I'm I want to push out my thoughts on this thing that they may not really give a damn about. I don't know. And that's a gamble that I'm not willing to gamble on. For instance, when Medium decided to have their own writing contest, and there was this huge controversy about the terms of service, and the fact that they were literally stating that if you participated in their contest, that they not only owned the contents and the rights to manipulate it, but they also owned the rights to sell it, to market it in any way, shape, or form that they want. And you, the creator, the originator of that content, would have no legal standing to sue them for any of the monies that they earned for I think it's 1 full year from the moment when the contest ends. And that's for whether you win or lose the contest. So if you participate in the Medium contest, their writing contest right now that they're having, and you don't win, but they like your idea, because you participated, you essentially are signing the contract stating they have the right to take your content and do whatever they want with it for a year from the date when the contest ends. And whatever money they earn, whatever they do during that year, you have no right to get any of it. And so that was a huge, even Roxane Gay, I don't know if you're familiar with who that is. She had to make a statement about it, because she's one of the judges, one of the many judges that they have for this contest they have going on, about whether or not she knew that that was in their terms of service for entering this contest. But anyway, so when that happened, it was like, oh my God, I have to write about it. I have thoughts about this. And so I need to push that out there. And so I had to shift I had to come in here and I had to shift all of my posts so that I could get this. And this was right when I started using Substack. So thank God I didn't have much to shift or much to do, because by that time I didn't have all of these posts written that you see here right now. I only had like a handful, but this wasn't the only time that I felt that I needed to move things down. Because I started using Substack, I wanted to give my thoughts and opinions, because so many people have been flooding to Substack. And so I was like, okay, I need to give my thoughts. So I ended up writing, Is Substack the Evolution of Newsletters? Substacks for Writers, Redefining the Newsletter. So there was so many things that I was writing when I already had, like, do I need to write every day? What draft are you on? 2 books every creative should own and read. Like, I already had those written, and I had those coming out in August. But because I was in the middle of learning Substack, loving it, wanting to tell people about it, I kept shifting and shifting and shifting. And so things that were going to come out in like July are now, I have them on my schedule for September, because I kept shifting. So I do need to figure out a way to not only like have my evergreen posts, but to also give me an opportunity to write my, up to the minute thoughts on the things that are trending and happening present day. And then, but not have that disrupt, one, my schedule of what I already have releasing, and 2, annoy my newsletter people from getting an email more times than I promised they would be getting. And I do have a way of fixing that, but until I have all of my email lists in one place, which currently I do not, my email list is currently split 4 different ways, which is a whole other thing that is just crazy. So I have a list in Substack. I still have my list in MailChimp that I haven't exported yet. And then I just added having a list in BookFunnel, and then a list in Story Origin. And the reason for those 2 lists over there is because I am looking to increase and grow my newsletter. And the best way to do that is to use services like BookFunnel and Story Origin. The only problem is they don't sync to Substack. They will sync to MailChimp or ConvertKit or MailerLite if you pay like $15 a month, which I'm not willing to pay, especially because I am leaving MailChimp. So for me to pay $15 a month so that the emails that are currently being held and stored for me in BookFunnel and Story Origin to sync to MailChimp, which I'm going to be dropping like a bad habit any minute now, just seems like such a waste. So what I'm forced to do is once a week. I've decided once a week. I'm not going to do this every day because it's going to drive me nuts. Every Friday morning, before I send out my Friday fiction, I am going to export the CSV file that's holding all the emails that I've been getting from BookFunnel, from Story Origin, export them, import them into Substack, have them there, then send out my Friday fiction, so that I'm sending it to my complete newsletter, which really isn't, because again, there's my MailChimp list, which I haven't exported yet. And the reason why I'm purposely not doing it was originally because I wanted to give the people there enough time to know the shift and the change that I'm doing, because I only deliver them an email once a month. But now my new reasoning for not exporting them is because I'm currently doing a test within Substack of how my newsletter list is increasing. And I can't really gauge that if I drop like over 300 emails into, I mean, I can, because I can just keep remembering, okay, I had 300 that I added, so the number that I have is that minus 300. But that, I just don't want to do that, because right here I'm able to see the increase of my email recipients, where I literally started on July 28th with 3 people subscribed to my newsletter. And now today, and this number, by the way, is inclusive of the emails that I have. No, actually, this number isn't. This number is literally just what I have on Substack right now. It does not include what I'm going to be exporting from my CSV file from Story Origin and BookFunnel. When I include those, I'm hoping by Friday, I will have over 100 subscribers that I have gotten since I started using Substack on July 28th, which would be pretty impressive for me to have gotten organically through like not really publicizing or advertising in any real way, shape, or form until September 1st, when I started doing the group promos and newsletter swaps. But for like in 5 weeks, 6 weeks to have gotten 100 subscribers, I'd say that's pretty good. And then I'm going to be, like I said, dropping in, I think it's like 300 emails from MailChimp in there. So my hope is by the end of the year that I will have over 500 subscribers on my newsletter, on my email list. And I'm pretty much on track for that. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm going to drop my MailChimp people in here on December 2nd. December 1st will be the last email that I send from my MailChimp account. Then I'm going to export them. I'm going to import them into Substack. And then I'm going to completely cancel my MailChimp account. May I never hear from them again. The dirty, rotten, evil people that they are, because I do not like them and I will never support them or never suggest to anyone to even consider them. In fact, if someone is looking for something that's similar to MailChimp, I can now say, by all means, check out ConvertKit, because they recently, well, not recently, but within the last year, decided to have their own free tier the way that MailChimp and MailerLite have, where you can have up to 1,000 subscribers and pay $0. So if you have under 1,000 subscribers and you're looking to jump ship from MailChimp, MailerLite, I think, is too dummies guide to a newsletter, and it's way too simple. It's got way too much like in the UI. It's really, I feel like it's really juvenile in many ways. So I don't really like MailerLite. Not that, I'm not saying anything. If you want to use MailerLite, go ahead. But if you want an equivalent or something that's more professional looking and, probably a bit better aesthetically than MailerLite, but has the same features, such as you can only have up to 1,000, go with ConvertKit by all means, because now they have that. The only claim to fame that MailChimp has going for them is that you can have up to 2,000 for free. But there are many caveats to that in terms of how many times you can email those people, etc., that is just, don't even waste your time. Oh my God. Okay. So let me get back to what I was doing before I lose track of what I was doing, right? So I was up to, I think, Amazon versus Indie Authors on October 18th. So let's do a quick edit here. Change this to the 18th. Update. But yes, that contest was a joke. I mean, it's still going on. They actually didn't cancel the contest. The contest, as far as I know, is still actively active. So, a lot of people bitched and moaned. I mean, I think even Ally came out and said this was unacceptable. And even after they said something, it did not change. They changed the language, because originally it was that they would have the rights to do what they wanted with your content indefinitely. But I think what they changed, which they felt was, was good enough and acceptable, is that now it's only 1 year from the end of the contest. And that's the stipulation there. It's from when the contest ends. It's not from when you enter the contest by putting a hashtag to your submission. No, it's when when they say the contest is over, that's when the 1 year clock begins, that you have absolutely no rights to your story for 1 year, while they pour through all the submissions and see which ones they can make a deal with Netflix, or which ones they can, make a deal with Disney or whatever and turn into a book series or a graphic novel or whatever it is, which is basically what they're doing this for. I mean, if you think this is to help the writer or to help the user of Medium, you're dumb. I mean, the whole point of this was to get all these fiction writers thinking that Medium was all of a sudden going to become all about fiction, with their writing contest, and then just swoop in and take the million stories that are going to be submitted for this contest, and they're going to have so much the content that they can go through, steal, and monopolize. And now all we did was hurry up their timeline, because originally their contract, like I said, was indefinitely, so they could have taken their sweet ass time to find and pour through all these submissions and figure out which ones could make them some extra cash money on the side. But now, because of the language, they changed it to 1 year. All that does is now they have to hire a few more readers to really pour through these things and make sure they don't lose anything after that 1 year's up. The statement I always make is, because this happens to me so many times, I'll open a window or I'll open an app or something, and something will happen and I'll turn away from the screen to do whatever, and then I turn back and I can't remember why I opened that app or that window or whatever the case may be, and I'm sitting here for 5 minutes like, why did I open this again? Like, what was I about to do? There's a lot of shadiness going on. So I'm gonna be moving these up clearly. And I can tell you right now, I already know that. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I know why I did that. Because there's a thing in the middle that's not showing. Okay. So we're shifting things up, which is fine by me. I just wrote this one, the problem with free trials, because I got annoyed, man. I was okay. That's the other thing. Like, things will happen and will pop up, and that will piss me off, and I'm like, okay, I got to write about this because I'm sure other people will relate. So Substack, if you're like in the writing world and in the realm of like newsletters and things, you may feel like Substack is being talked about constantly. I mean, I don't even know if you may have heard that Salman Rushdie, who is a hugely popular, I think he's a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, Salman Rushdie, has just announced, like last week, that he will be releasing a serial novel exclusively on Substack. It made the New York Times, it made the Guardian, it made all the newspapers, from the tech world to the literary world. Everyone was just like, OMG, Salman Rushdie is going to be, So is this where all the old vanguard of writers go, or is this the new era of fiction writing? Only time will tell, right? It's great for someone like me and the rest of us fiction writers, because we're hoping upon hope and crossing our fingers that this brings some notoriety to the idea of serial fiction, so that the rest of us can, climb on the coattails and be like, oh, if you're looking for other serial fiction, look at me type of thing, right? So we're all hoping upon hope that this does not crash and burn, because if it does, we are going to have a bigger hole to dig ourselves out of at the end of the day. But regardless of that, Substack has been in the news, if you're in that same kind of news cycle, for quite some time. And then along with that, there's always the mention of what's it like? What's the alternative to, if you don't want to go with Substack? What are some others? And one of the main others I've been seeing is this thing called Ghost. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I have heard of it like once or twice, but it's been from like huge YouTube personalities who have like email lists that number in the hundreds of thousands. So for me, I've always felt like Ghost is for someone who is in those upper echelons and has like six figures of newsletter lists and earns, seven-figure income a year or a month or whatever. So I've never even given it much thought, but then I keep hearing about it, and I'm like, let me go look at Ghost and see what the hell this is, because it's supposed to be open source and it's a not-for-profit and all of these things. Well, The first thing I got hit with when I went to the website was start your 14-day free trial. And I just about blew a gasket because I'm sick and tired of the 14-day free trial. I'm sick and tired of the free trials thing, period, because there's so many issues with it. It's something that I feel is the most antiquated part of business, using the internet, getting consumers and users to use their thing. Stop it with the 14-day free trial, because 14 days, I'm sorry, is not enough on God's green earth, is not enough for any human being who has an actual life to properly test whatever it is you're selling to determine after 14 days if they want to stay or go. It just isn't. I need more than 14 days, especially if it's something like Ghost, where the whole concept of it is sending emails to your newsletter. How the hell am I supposed to now rearrange what has been my normal schedule of emailing people just so that I can send an email to my newsletter, which I'm now going to have to import into your program within 14 days, and then quickly set up a template and now email my people and say, hey, I know I normally send you an email on the 1st, but I had this 14-day trial that I had to use very quickly to find out if it was worth using. So I'm going to interrupt your ass and send you an email now. Or am I supposed to say, well, they only have a 14-day trial, and because I only send emails on the 1st, I'm going to wait till a few days before the end of the month to sign up, join, so that I can send my email on the 1st and get a life, okay? 14-day free trial, my new mantra from now till the day I leave this earth and I'm buried into the ground, is anything that comes at me with, here's your free 14-day trial, I'm not signing up. I'm not giving you my account information. I'm not giving you my email, especially because let's go over the 14-day trial situation here, okay? When they tell you it's a 14-day trial, to me, it's an insult, because I know that the reason why you're doing that is because you want me to rush and make a decision, and you don't want to wait more than 14 days to get my money. So do you care about the user? No, you don't. Because if you cared about the user and you really felt that your program was so awesome and amazing that after they used it during your free trial, they would love it and keep it, you would want to give me more than 14 days. Especially because, I mean, I'm busy. I'm doing shit. You know what I mean? Like, give me more than... And what I would like, I think what the free trial period should be is 90 days. Honestly, because again, people have a life. So it's not like I'm sitting here for 14 days poring over your program, looking at every aspect, every feature that you have to make sure it's exactly what I want and need for the wants and needs that your program provides. Because I'm not. I need it to fit into my real world, into my normal day-to-day activity. So if you're giving me something that has to do with me emailing my newsletter, then I need it for a length of time that fits around how I would normally do it. And with my MailChimp, what I would normally do, even though it's due on the 1st, for the entire month before I get to the 1st, I'm in there, I'm probably tinkering. I might have seen a YouTube video that I'm like, oh, I want to share this with my newsletter. Let me go add it to it. And so I create, the email newsletter for the next month. I've already created it, and I'm slowly but surely adding things into it throughout the month. And guess what? A month is not 14 days. A month is 30. And if you want me to really know if I like it or don't, then I need to be able to use it, literally send the email more than the one time. So a 30-day free trial is not going to work. 2 times, 60 days, maybe. Honestly, 90 days is the best. That's the sweet spot. Give me 90 days. Let me live with it. Let me figure it out. Let me rope it into my life, because 14 days is such a waste of time for me to export my email list wherever it happens to be, import it into your little program wherever it happens to be, and then if I decide not that I don't want it, now I've got to export my list because I don't want you to have it. Or I may have gotten some people in those 14 days that now I need to export and add back to the place where I originally was. I need to now go through the motions of canceling, which is the other thing why they give it 14 days, because they know you're so busy. You're not watching the clock saying, okay, has it been 14 days? Has it been 14 days? So by day 15 and 16, they've charged your card. And unless you're someone who's crazy and you're checking your bank account every single day, multiple times a day, you're likely not going to catch that until a week or two after the charge has been made. And what happens when you go to that company and you say, well, wait a minute, I meant to cancel that. Please cancel it now. First of all, they say in order to cancel, you have to call them. Get out of my face. I had to give you my email, my credit card, my expiry date, my address, all of that online. Okay, but in order for me to cancel, I have to call you. We already know why you want me to call you. You want me to call you so that you could try to sweet talk me into staying for much longer by giving me some bullshit discount. No. Like, oh, you don't know how. I saw that 14-day free trial and it was like this whole 1,500 word blog post just spilled out of me this morning. So that one, if you want to read my thoughts further, I won't keep on this bandwagon. October 27th, how appropriate, right before Halloween. So October 27th, check it out, because that will be when you'll be able to read it. They care about the subscription revenue only, not the yeah. And if they wanted to prove otherwise, then like I said, all they have to do. That's why I think Scrivener really does so well. They have a 30-day free trial, which they always do on NaNoWriMo. So, and they don't say you have to you have to give them a credit card. You don't have to. In fact, not only that, but Scrivener is set up so that if you open their app, and I don't know if they've changed this, but I know that this was true many years ago. If you open the Scrivener app on your computer and never closed it, it actually goes by how many actual physical days you have the app open and then closed. So if you kept it open for like 2 weeks, it would not count that as 14 days. It would count that as 1 day that you had it open and then you closed it and you reopened it again. So I know some people who had opened it and just never closed it for several months, and they were still able to use Scrivener for free. Which, like I said, I'm sure they must have changed that and they figured out that people were using that loophole. I didn't even know that loophole was even a possibility to have on a program, but apparently it was for Scrivener, because they were counting the actual, it wasn't consecutive days, it was just number of days, which is a fascinating thing. But anyway. And hey, that's how I bought Scrivener in the first place, is I participated in NaNoWriMo 1 and then was able to buy it for like $25 or $20, because when you win, you get 50% off, which was like great. Instagram Why It's Great for Writers is the 20th. I set this one up for the 18th and I can hit send to everyone in a month. This one is changed to the 20th and the number is 62. Well, if you're ever thinking about, I don't know if you have an email newsletter, if you have one set up, if you're looking to start one, I do recommend using Substack, again, only because one, it's 100% free. They don't make any money unless you do. So you can monetize your newsletter the way similar to Medium or Patreon, in that you could put certain things behind a paywall and you get to decide what the amount is. They only give you the option for one tier, which makes it great. A lot of this is very minimalist, very simple. And I'm actually in a Discord server for Substack, which has, at least as far as I know, one of the staff members of Substack is in this Discord server. So there's been many times where we have made some suggestions that have actually come to fruition because that staff member is in there and we're able to have that kind of connection with them, which is great. And if you want to join it, just let me know. I can give you that link to join it. You don't have to have a Substack to be in the server. You can simply just join the server because you want to find out about it, get information about it. but we do have quite a large fiction community in there that's very tight knit. We're helping each other on how to grow our newsletters, how to find subscribers. There's a bunch of us who are going to be starting a serial fiction. We've either started one or we're going to be starting one soon. So we're helping each other in that regard. Sweet. Well, let me give you the link to join the server. Because it really is quite a resource, and there's so much that's about to be going on, that we're going to be doing, that I feel like if there was ever a time to join the server, it's now, because you want to get in while we're in the planning stages. So um, let me just find the link, because I have it. I'm trying to think where I have it. Oh, you know where I have it? In my notepad. Hold on, I just have to get it from my notepad. I will drop it in here for you right now. It's called Substack Writers Unite. And there you go. Join up. And then when you get in there, you could just tell them, you could just go to the request roles. The roles are really simple. There's either fiction or nonfiction. That's it. So you just go up in there and say fiction, and they'll give you the fiction role, and that will open up a bunch of channels, because there are specific fiction channels which we call Fiction Land. And like I said, we're just now starting this new thing where we're going to have what do you call it? Curated emails every week starting in October. And so the first week in October, an email is going to go out by the owner of the server, and she's going to tell you about serials. So all the serial fictions that are actually happening, that might be starting soon, that have ended, all of these things that are just Substack serials. So it's not like she's sending you about other things, so you can subscribe. And the whole point of it is we're going to start including it's called Fictionland. So it's fictionland.substack.com in our own respective newsletters. And when we send out a newsletter, we'll let people know, like, if you're looking for more serials, if you're looking for more short fiction, if you're looking, find out about some cool author spotlights and highlights and things like that. And it's all going to be curated in this one place. So yes, people would have to subscribe to Fictionland and then subsequently subscribe to the places that they want. To get more info from. But the second week, I'm going to be doing short fiction. So if you write flash fiction, short stories, anything like that, I'm going to be curating a list every week, introducing people to like 5 brand new Substackers who are writing fiction, short stories, and here's what they are and things like that. And then the third week, I think she's trying to get webcomics, because Substack just announced that they're putting a lot of onus into getting comics on Substack and how that's going to look and how that's going to work. And then the fourth week is going to be spotlights and highlights of specific writers, where they are going to be asked questions about their Substack. And so you get to learn about them on a more intimate, personal level. So each week will be a newsletter. And you get to decide, like, if you only want to find out about brand new short fiction, you can, pick the sections that you want to receive emails for and that you don't. Whoops. And we're just now putting that together, so it's not even ready yet. And I've been working on a template for what that's going to look like. Oh, I think they did just change that rule. Sorry, guys. I think Elle did just change the rules where you need to have a link to your Substack to get those roles. Unfortunately, you do have to have a Substack for that. You don't need to have a Substack to join and like ask questions and things, but you do in order to get the roles. And Elle is the owner, by the way, who just messaged you right now, BC Brown. So, I mean, if you already created your Substack, it doesn't have to be active or like have posts in it. So you can just give her the link to that, and she'll give you, the roles that you want. What was I doing? What was I doing? Oh yeah, okay. So this is on the 20th, which I think I just did. Oh yeah, I was putting the image. Oh my god. Number 62. It is like it's actually the best Discord server I think I've ever been in. And I actually owned and ran a Discord server, and it's the most active server I've ever been in, including the one that I owned. And it's really, I'm in there all day, like all day, every day. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and there's conversations happening, and I'm up in the middle of the night and we're, having discussions. We're actually going to be starting a weekly, I think it's going to be like every Saturday afternoon, where a bunch of us, anyone who's there, can just jump into the channel and have like a video voice chat. And we're just going to be talking about what posts we have, any sort of ideas we may have on growing our newsletter, some ideas that we've implemented, and what we're going to be, and how that worked. Did it work? Did it not work? How did it work? What did we do? Like, just powwow sessions. And some of them will be theme related, and some of them will just be, let's just get together and chat. So we're going to have that started. And I think you might need to have a role in order to join that. So yeah, so while there's a lot going on, you will need to have a Substack in order to participate in some of these really cool things. But a lot of those channels are public, and I think open to anyone, whether you have a role or not. So I recommend going in there and using it as you see fit, because it's really a great resource for sure. And I actually put, like, I started a thread about book funnel strategy, because we would talk. Someone had asked me via DM, like, what do I do? What's my strategy with using book funnel? Because I've used book funnel in the past and gotten like almost 2,000 subscribers just from using book funnel in like less than 3 months. It's just the best way that I know to increase and grow my newsletter with people who are actually going to open my newsletter and read it, which is to me the key. Is not just to grow your newsletter just for the sake of having, 20,000, but to know that you're going to have that many, and they're going to open it and like action things, and they're going to read it. They might click links that you give them, etc. All right, let's do this for October 20th. I really need to pay attention though, because if I accidentally hit submit and send this email, that's my biggest fear when I'm doing these things, is like, what if I accidentally hit the submit button and I didn't actually schedule it? So two emails are going to go out to people in the same day. That would not be good. Okay, so we did 18th to 20th. Okay, let's see what's coming on after the 20th. Did you guys just create Substack accounts right now? Because I'm looking out the corner of my eye and I'm like, did you really just create them right now? I'm tempted to check because I'm nosy. So you could tell me the truth, guys. Too legit to quit. You can't. Oh, snap. Silent Willow, you will love Substack, because you need to, okay, you guys both need to subscribe to Sam and Rushdie's Substack. So let's do it. I'm gonna give you guys some Substacks that you need to subscribe to that will inspire you and influence you to want to do Substacking right now. Okay, so Substack 101. You guys, I'm going to give you some where you're going to be like, whoa. Okay, wait. I need to go to my profile to find them. So here's Fictionland. So I do recommend you subscribe. It's coming soon. It's not happening yet. So yeah. Okay. So first of all, this is the one where, like I said, once a week I'm gonna be doing the short fiction ones. So yeah, so for sure subscribe to that one. Subscribe to mine. I mean, hello. What am I doing? So yeah, let's subscribe to mine. Oh wait, what am I doing? Here we go. But there's like, if I had to pick my top 3 favorites, I would know which ones I would pick right now. So before I start having you subscribe to other people that aren't me. Um oh, I forgot about Absurdist. Absurdist is so good. She writes like literary fiction, which boggles my mind. She does nonfiction stuff too, but her lit fic, where she writes these stories about old people, but old people who do and behave in extraordinary ways, which her writing style is like poetry. Adventure Snack is really good too, because it's choose your own adventure. So he has a thing, and then he has like these like 5 options, and you choose an option to find out what the outcome is going to be. That one's really good too. But okay, Salmon Rushdie's, which just started last week. His is obviously, it's Salmon Rushdie, so it's amazing, right? But I recommend signing up to him. And Silent Willow, if you're already subscribed to my MailChimp, you technically don't have to subscribe right now to my Substack unless you want to get the things that I'm going to be releasing between now and December 2nd, because I'm not shifting over that email list until December 2nd. So if you want to get all the emails I'm going to be doing in September, October, and November, then you will want to subscribe right now. Otherwise, you can just wait until I manually do it. Well, a lot of these writers I found through this Discord server. Oh, did I just close that window like a moron? Okay, wait. But a lot of the other ones I actually found through other people, because what happens is, so you know how you see this, like my account, this is where you would go, like let's say if you didn't want to get all of my emails and you only wanted to get the fiction stuff, you would check and uncheck accordingly. But every person gets this, which is a profile, right? And in your profile, you get to decide based on which Substacks you subscribe to. If you have a Substack account, you will have this option where you can show people which ones you're reading. So a lot of the people that I'm following may not be in the server, but someone else was following them. And based on that, I trust what Elle might be subscribe to, and she should be here somewhere. So she's the novelist, and she's the one who owns this server. So if you wanted to subscribe to hers, I highly recommend it. And she's doing a serial fiction thing. She's really well known and popular. She's been interviewed in many places. She's growing like crazy. She's doing this experiment. She's already a journalist, so she has a lot of in and clout with a lot of people and places. She knows personally the owner of Substack, so in many ways she's able to contact these people directly to get information and access that we wouldn't normally be so easily able to get. But I'm not even sharing with you the ones that I want you to subscribe to. Okay, I gave you Salmon Rushdie. The other one is, I unsubscribed because there was a situation, but I know their Substack by heart. So this one I recommend. It's so cool. This guy does this weekly newsletter, right? And this is where I stole my idea to do the image that I use in my own, but it's this weekly newsletter of this world called Oddland. And so it's these various articles, and each article is written by a hilariously named person, and it's the Oddlands art district, and it's almost like this place really exists and the craziness that happens in this world, and you can actually submit to it. So if you want to write an article about a happening in Oddland, you can, and there's some place here where you can submit to that. I forget, it might be in here, or it might actually be in his website, but you can also, he's in the server. He is Harvin. He's one of the yellow names and one of the hosts, so you can actually reach out to him and he will post yours as long as you follow like the rules of how you write these stories. But it's so funny what he does, and how he put this newsletter together. Where am I going? Okay, so that's one that I definitely wanted to tell you about. I did that one. I did Sam and Rushdie. What was the third one? It went right out of my head. Well, I'll let you guys look through, because you can actually, there's an introduce yourself section, and newsletter recs. That's another place where I find some of these people, because we will recommend newsletters of people who are not in the server, but we found them through any number of means, and so we'll say like, oh, you guys really need to check this one out. So I've recommended some, and other people have recommended them, etc., etc. So yeah, so, and then you can share your own posts in there so people can, look at it and read it, etc. Subpub is a good one. I'm subscribed to this, and I actually did an interview. He's interviewing people who have a Substack. Means I should rename my normal newsletter. Weirdy Wordy is really quite fascinating. There was some that I read from like weeks ago that had me like cracking up. But we're actually looking at like NFTs and all these things, which is beyond my scope of anything. But I need to stop closing my Substack, because I'm trying to organize my life and I keep closing it. Okay, let's get back to business. Back to business. And also I need to take a brief bathroom break. But I will do that at the top of the hour. So yeah, those are some good Substacks for you to start with. The other ones that I would recommend may not be like your cup of tea. I recommend Elle's, because you can see the journey that she's taking towards what she just started this past weekend. Actually, Sunday was her first I think prologue chapter, and so she's going to be releasing I think like 3 more chapters, and then she's going to move over to the paid model. And like I said, we're watching her to see how that goes. And a lot of this spreadsheeting that I have, I actually borrowed from hers. She has a similar spreadsheet, and so I have goals the way she does. So I have my dream goals, my actual goals, and then like my regular goals that I'm sharing with people. So these are the ones, like I'm looking to hit 365 by the end of October. And this 365 technically is not inclusive of my MailChimp 300, so I don't know if I'm actually going to hit this. I will once I import my MailChimp at the end of December, where I hope to be over 1,000. And this is so that I can technically get to a place where I'm earning certain monies monetarily, and it's going to be based on the 5 to 10% rule, which is depending on what your open rate is. And you'll, if you bother to like go back and read a lot of the discussion that we've had in the channel, or just bring it up yourself, you can. But there's this rule of thumb that says, based on the percentages, she has a link to hers and I have a link to mine. We both have links to it in the server. Hers might be pinned. Where is it pinned? Where would she have pinned hers? Because I believe one of the mods pinned her link so that it was easier to find. Unless I'm wrong. Okay, so here's the one to mine. But let me see if I can find hers. Oh, I found it. Okay, hold on one second. Wait, is this it? Let me see if this is it before I put it in the chat. Oh no, these are and this, she shares all of this openly. So these are all the people that she pitched her idea to in the hopes that they would write it in their whatever their newsletter is or whatever the case may be, so that she could get known further. Like, look at all these people that she pitched to. Craziness. Okay, so this is not it. But that's her list of agents that you can pitch to. Where is... Oh, I think this is it. Okay, wait. She is very open about sharing everything. So I think this is it. Yes, okay. And so I just downloaded this and then, changed it to the way I want. Wow, her email numbers, her list has increased so much. She started at 1,000 and she's already at 3,000 for her email list by the end of last month. That's crazy. But again, like I said, she has much more reach than the rest of us do. And so we are all hoping upon hope. So there's that. So you can get, so that's hers. And then if you want mine, I have to scroll back up to here. Let's jump. So this one is mine. Let's come here and there. So you can just take whatever, that's what I did. I just took whatever information she had on hers that was more relevant to me and what I needed to track and know. So she's already earning $840 a month because she turned on her paid, even though her posts are still all going to be free and public until I think a month from now. So there's going to be 4 more weeks where her serial fiction chapters are going to go out for free. From 12 paid subscribers, she's earning $840 actual. This is her actual gross revenue. And it looks like she's saying it's annual, so it might be $840 a year, not a month. Pretty cool. Okay, so I don't need that open anymore. I need to come back here and I need to go here. FYI, as of this morning, what? There is a lot of chatter going on in the server and I'm trying to ignore it. Also, there's nothing hidden behind nonfiction. So if you feel like you need to get the nonfiction role to see what kind of chat's happening, the only channels that are hidden unless you have a role is fiction. There might be some hidden channels unless you have the Substack Grow role, but that's only for people who were personally invited and let in to that like niche group, which is a whole other discussion for a whole other thing. But as far as I know, the only channels that are hidden unless you have a role is the fiction role. So don't feel like, if you don't have the nonfiction role, there's something you're not going to see. There's nothing hidden behind that role. Oh God, jump to present. Oh, snap. So they might be adding fiction as a topic on the Substack homepage, which we've been adamantly trying to get them to do. So if you just went to substack.com and didn't go to an actual page, this is what you'd see, right? And we're trying to get Substack to fix this so that, like Silent Willow, you were asking me, how did you find these people? We want to be able to find or give people who write fiction the ability to be seen on this page and be found. And one of the issues that we have is that fiction is not here. The closest you can get to that is literature, which doesn't really count because literature can mean reviewing books. It could mean, it can mean any number of things, and it could be a lot of nonfiction because literature can be nonfiction books. So it doesn't really highlight us the way that we want to be highlighted on Substack. And so, yeah, if you look in the audience building channel, this chick Jackie, she's um, like me, we're actively trying to figure out how we can get moving and shaking on things. So it looks like she just asked a question as of this morning if there's any discussion about adding fiction as one of these options here on the page, because this is how you can filter to find certain things. And Bailey, who is in our server, she's the one staffer who works for Substack and is actually in the server, responded with saying there is. So that's huge. That's really huge because we have been fighting to get that. And if you want any help, I do have. If you look at mine, I am and the fourth lesson came out today. But I do have this thing that's called Substack for fiction writers, where I am the first 2 weeks of every month releasing a thing where you can basically learn how to set it up, how to publish your first post, how to, what's some tips on creating your welcome email, some etc., etc. So if you want, why is this written this way? Hold on. Oh, it should be 104 email template tips. I don't know why it was written the other way, but I think I know. So let me just edit this post real quick. Go into settings. Yeah, it's because that's how it's written here. So let's change this, save it. And now if I go back to wherever I was, where was I? I was here. Okay, so now it looks fixed. Okay. I thought this was pinned. There we go. Okay. So I have this series, and this series at the moment is like it's gonna end in April of next year, because these are all the ones that I'm gonna be putting out. And every time I come up with something new, I will add and then again shift accordingly. As because I didn't want them all to be like in the next 3 months, I'm separating them out by releasing 2 every first Monday, Wednesday of the month. So the first week of the month on Monday and Wednesday, you'll get 2 posts. So the next 2 that are coming out is helping you on how to do your about page and then how to navigate the dashboard like a pro, because their dashboard is atrocious. Their settings area is probably the worst thing about Substack because it's very confusing. It's just an endless scroll of options, and it can be very overwhelming for anyone. I mean, even me who's used to navigating things, it's a lot. And I would love to tell them how to fix it, but there are a lot of other things in play that I know that they're working on, so I don't want to distract them with being like, you guys really need to fix your settings situation. So I've been kind of quiet about it, but it could use some work. 62 is what I was working on. Let me go to the bathroom because I said I was going to go at the top of the hour, and it's the top of the hour. So I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom for like 2 minutes, and I will be right back. My door doesn't creak when I open and close it, which is awesome because that means I can stain it. Which I don't know if I'm going to, but I think I am. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, let's get back to it. 62. Okay, I put 62 and it's on the 20th, so I set that up right. Cool. This one needs to be changed to the 20th. $18.20. So after the 20th is this one I have not written yet. This one I have. And I actually just put it in there. So let's put it for the 27th. 27th update. Okay. This one I have to write. Let me highlight this so that I know. Like this is one I have not written yet. Because technically if I haven't written it yet, I really shouldn't be putting it in the schedule this way. But I will write it actually right now in the next hour while I am here. So have I written this one yet? Let's see. I did. I have. Okay. And that one's going to be on the 8th, number 65. Yeah, so this image is influenced by Weirdy Wordy's newspaper. I mean, it's not exactly as newspaper looking. The one that actually is the first edition. That one does look more like a newspaper headline than this one does. So what date is this for again? I'm so bad at this. November 8th. So let's reschedule this for November 8th. And one thing that I'm kind of glad about, but also kind of annoyed about, is that they only let you schedule like 3 months in advance. So if I were to look at December, I could not do anything beyond December 9th. So I can't schedule. So if I had something scheduled for the end for December, I would have to leave it as a draft and then remember when I'm able to add it to go back in there and schedule it for whatever December date in a couple of weeks from now. Because as of right now, I can't schedule anything past December 9th, which is basically 3. So they give me 90 days worth of future scheduling and that's it. Yeah, comics, they actually I just saw your comment, BC Brown. They actually just added that. And like I said, they're doing this program with a lot of comic book people, a lot of famous ones from like the Marvel universe and other places similar to that, where they're going to these comic book artists and giving them what they're calling a scholarship for a year. And so they will then be able to create whatever content they want without being tied down to whatever their contracts are with other people. Substack is giving them an open-ended kind of scholarship where they have free reign and they can put it all on Substack, obviously behind a paywall, because the way that it works is they're meant to pay it back, the scholarship, and the way that they pay it back is by having their content behind a paywall. And then within the year, what Substack does, which is actually paying it back with interest, is that instead of just taking 10%, which is what they would do for me, like if I had things behind a paywall, Substack takes 10% of whatever I set my monthly or annual thing to be. With these scholarships, I read actually last night while I was in the middle of the night, that they're doing the opposite. So if I were to be given a scholarship from Substack, they would give me the scholarship, which is usually around the six figures, like 250,000, 150,000. Salman Rushdie's scholarship, I believe, was like $500,000. But what they do is I would turn on my paid subscription and they give me 15% of it. So instead of them taking 10%, in this instance, they're taking 85% of whatever you're earning every month for a full year. So technically, even if you've paid back whatever the scholarship is, they continue to take that for the rest of the year. And then you earn that 15% of whatever it is. And the idea is whoever you are getting the scholarship, you're going to be making buttloads every month, and so you don't really need the money. Like I think in Salman Rushdie's case, he's taking whatever he's left with every month and like donating it to charity or something. So and in many instances, these comic book people who are coming from like the Marvel universe, the DC universe, and all of these huge places where they illustrate comic strips, they're still doing that. They're not severing that contract. So this scholarship opportunity is really just an opportunity for them to do something outside of that scope. If they've ever had an idea for something, when you're in the DC contract, that's all you're illustrating, and you don't really have the ability to expand beyond that you're just drawing Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. You're not doing anything else. So this Substack gives them the opportunity to do something else and to bring back some dream comic they may have had when they were children, and they've just put it to the wayside because they just didn't have the opportunity to do it because they've been too busy doing these other things. November 8th. The only 2 pages any website really needs. November 8th. I feel like I did something that was November. It must have been October 8th. And I'm just being crazy about it. Okay, schedule. For November 8th. September, October. I want to know, why am I going from October 20th to November 8th? It must be because... Okay, it's because of these 2 things. Okay, November 8th. Where to find people who love opening emails. I know I wrote this. And that's November 10th. I thought I moved this. 1027. What number is that? 64. Ten 27 8 a.m. Okay. So that should be 10:20. Where's 10:20, 27? So there's going to be something for the 25th, which is that 100 one that I'm going to write. Then November 8th. What's on the 10th? Oh, okay. So this one is the 10th. And what number is it? 66. Actually, I forgot I could just do it this way. Let me make sure. Okay, November 10th is right. AM. Check that box. This one is going to stay on the 29th. So, okay, so this should now match. Haha. This. This one I haven't written yet. I will move it up accordingly and highlight it in yellow. And I just now need to make sure that I can, well, I should really wait a while because this isn't as updated as I'd like. People are starting to open the email, etc., etc. Out of control. Okay, so backing up to here. Down to the bottom. 9, 13, and 15. Looks good. 20 and 22. Looks good. 5-year. Twitter versus Instagram. It's good. Automate. Biggest excuse. Good. 18 and 20. Amazon and Instagram. 18 and 20. Looks good. And then this one is the 27th. Good. And then these two I think I have to fix. Only 2 pages is the 8th. And then where to find is the 10th. Oh, where to find is the one that I don't have here. Okay, because I knew I was missing something. So let's add that. Let's copy. And we're going to add it here. Let me make sure it's not in my draft by mistake. Nope. Okay. Where do you find people who love opening emails? That is the question. I think this is number 66. Yes. Get your kicks on Route 66. You guys are getting to see the boring stuff I do in the back end of my life. Right, and this is for the 10th, I believe. Yes. And it's going to be for 8 a.m. on the 10th. And we're going to put the category, and we don't have to put anything else. We can just click the schedule button, and we're all good. It's all gravy. I hope my spreadsheet and L spreadsheet is helpful to you. One thing I will suggest that we were also talking about in the group, BC Brown, if you're still there and listening, is like a few things that you must do once you start your Substack. And I think someone wrote an article about it. But one of the things that I always do whenever I get a new URL that allows me to do this is to add it to my Google Search Console, which I recommend you do if you have a website. And you can do it with Substack, and you can also do it with your Tumblr page. So I recommend getting the Google Search Console, because what that does is, and I can show you it because it's not like you can take any of this information, but it allows you to see the performance of your site, such as your analytics and, you know, page views. It also allows you to look at things like where these people are from, location, and the devices that they're using. Where is what I'm really looking for, though? You know what? It's more visible. Let me just do a cursory check here real quick before I go to my... And if you have a website and you use WordPress like I do, you can then have it here on your WordPress account through this site kit plugin that I have. And so I don't have to actually open another window to go to look at my Google Search Console. I can just come here and get all the information that I need from that other location. And so just give it a second to drop in. And it only works from the moment that you start it. So unfortunately, it doesn't have historical data, which is why you want to set it up right away, because it can take weeks for Google to get all of this information to be able to show you. Oh, of course, the second I click away is when it drops in all the information I want. Okay, so like I'm just from this main page here able to see that a lot of the users who came here, 40% were direct, 31% were from a search, 22% were referred to my website, and then 6% only came from like some social media, like maybe Instagram or Facebook or something like that. And I can see, you know, the top searches were either for my name or for Substack fiction. And then, you know, my website came up. And so people, and this is the kind of information that you would get when you sign up, when you connect your website, your URL to Google search. You can get this kind of information, which can be helpful. You know, 54% are coming from the US, but crazy, almost 30% of people who have come to my website came from China. Who knew? And then there's like all these other locations is 10%. And obviously I would wager from the devices is probably, it's 50-50 split between mobile and desktop. It wasn't like that before. I think before desktop was way higher, but the more information that it's able to gather after 90 days seems to be like the key. But 90 days worth of this kind of data collecting will be able to give you exactly the kind of information you need in terms of where you should be advertising, who is coming to your site, how long they're staying there. But you can also connect, like I said, I have Substack connected, so I can come over here to Substack and see all of that kind of information here that will be helpful to me moving forward in terms of what kind of SEO information I should be putting in, and all that boring stuff is basically here. And I'm trying to see where the heck it takes me to. Maybe it's under links. No, not links. I might have to actually just go to it. Yeah, I think I only have like maybe a couple of weeks worth of connecting Google Analytics. So it doesn't have the full capture that I would need in order to really gauge how my search is going. But I already have a note for myself that in, I think, December, like December 1st, I'm going to really look into my analytics and then see how I've done in the last 3 months, but also see what I might need to do in order to get my search numbers to be higher, visits to my page to be higher, what are people doing when they're there, etc., etc. And the only way, like I said, this is like real time, so you need to have this connected the moment you create your Substack in order to the way it ties in is I connected it. So I don't know if you saw that, but I was actually all that data you saw on the screen was all from Substack itself. So that means anyone who has gone to my Substack, Google is analyzing where they're from, surmising what their age is keeping track of how long they spend there in my site. So right here, this Google Analytics, all of this information is coming from the anyone who went to ericadrayton.substack.com. So what this is telling me is 23 users went to my site about 68 times, and their duration there every time they went was at least 6 minutes, which is really good because sometimes with your URL, your personal URL, that will be a much smaller number. It's usually like 2 minutes, which is why they say whatever you want, whatever action you want a user or a visitor to your site to be, you need to put it right there, right on the screen, because our attention span is quick, milliseconds. Okay, so the second someone goes there, if they have to scroll or if they have to click, if they have to do this, that, or the other, then you're not going to get the action that you want, which is why my website is currently set up the way that it is, because I want people to do an action if all they're going to do is be on my website for all of like 2 minutes. And within seconds, you go to my website and this is what I want you to do. I want you to put your email here. I want you to subscribe. If you do nothing else, if you don't read, this is basically my bio. This is why I keep things very simple and very to the point, because I used my analytics to know that people were not hanging out in my website. Okay. And the fact that people are hanging out for 6 minutes, what that tells me is they're reading my posts, because a lot of my blog posts are like 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes long. So if the average person out of 23 users was staying focused on my website on Substack, that's great, because that means that they're reading the blog posts that I'm writing. So I want to see those kind of numbers, but I want to see them even higher. I want to know that people are coming here and they're reading more than one blog post. They're reading multiple at a time. They're reading that one, but then they're seeing I have other ones and they're clicking to read those other ones. And that's the kind of stuff that when you connect your Google Analytics, it'll do that. And the way you do it, like if you want to know specifically like how do I link the two, first thing is you should have a Google account. If you don't have one, you need to get one. Unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. You need to have a Gmail account. And then you would just go to analytics.google.com. And when you sign up for it, you're going to give it your URL. So the URL you're going to give when you create an account is you're going to give your, in your case, silentwillow.substack.com, and it's going to give you a unique ID number. And that unique ID number, you need to then take it to your Substack, go to your settings in your dashboard. And like I said, this is just this settings area with this endless scrolling is out of control. But you would go all the way to your advertising analytics section, and it's not really for advertising, but you're going to just drop in that special ID that you're going to get. And then once you drop this in here, that's it. You drop this in. It auto saves, so you don't have to hit like a save button or anything. You just drop this special code that you would get for yours in there and you're done. But like I said, you have to wait several weeks before you're going to actually see any real data in here. Like this data is only for, a short amount of time. It's not for, it's what am I saying? It's only for like 2 weeks because I think I just set this up like mid-August. So because I got the account July 28th, and I think it wasn't until like July 14th or 5th or August 14th or 15th that I put this in there. So it's only been 3 weeks that Google has been connecting and picking up this data for me. So you really want to give it a good 90 days from the moment you connect it till the moment you'll have real actionable data that really makes sense and you can actually do something with. I can't really do anything with this data right now. It doesn't help me at all, because even if I did the last 90 days, you see how it shows like nothing here and then it goes up, because this is the moment when it actually connected and is started to pull information. So I need to give it all of September, all of October, all of November, and then in December when I come here, it's going to be so full of actionable data to show me things that will really help me to figure out what I need to do to get the session durations up, or did they increase on their own without me even doing anything? I mean, possibly. But it gives you like, so like this is the location stuff. So I can see, right now there is someone in Alaska and in the United States who are right now, or at least one person is right now on my Substack page doing who knows what, I don't know. But this is like real-time data. So, but the place that's the most important is this audience place right here, because this is where you're going to want to know what's the age range of the people who are going to my Substack, and where did they come from, and what searches did they write down in order to, what did they put in their search engine that put me in front of their face and then made them click to go to my Substack. What was it? And then like the demographics. It takes a long time to load because, again, it doesn't have much data that it's pulling from. It's really only pulling from like 2 weeks of data. So it's like nothing. See, there's no data to view because it hasn't been active enough. And I need more time for it to pull this kind of information for me that's going to really be helpful to me. So I pulled it. I know that it's actively taking all this information every time someone goes to Substack, to my specific one. And so it's just a matter of patience and just knowing that in December, I'm going to really be on it, and I'm going to be able to know what's going on. So now I am going to write this story here because it needs to be put in the rotation, and I didn't write it yet. So I'm going to write that right now. Let that be the one, this be the one bit of writing that I do. I also want to write a 100-word story today, because I've been doing that. And I didn't write one yesterday, which, like I said, was a good thing, but I do want to write one today, so. Yeah, I have to start. It's Wellness Wednesday for my job, which means that I get to start 1 hour later than I normally would. And so normally I would have started 35 minutes ago, but because of Wellness Wednesday, I can start at noon. So, and the reason why I start so late in the day is because I'm working off of West Coast and Central Time. None of my clients are in the East Coast, and I happen to live in the East Coast, so I guess that's a positive thing. So I'm up at 7, but I have a good 4 hours in my day to do what I want before I technically have to like sign in and make my presence known, if you will, which is kind of nice. I know that I do have a meeting at 1 today, I think. Is it at 1? Yeah, it's at 1. So I am going to be getting off of here at noon so that I can have lunch. And luckily that meeting at 1, I'm just going to be sitting there listening because there's nothing I can do. And then I have a meeting at 5:30, which is another one where I'm just going to be sitting there listening. Which is fine by me because I don't have to be on camera or anything like that. And that's what I prefer. Ugh, I thought I already accepted this. Unbelievable. Okay. Oh, that also has nothing to do with me, thank God. I love when things have nothing to do with me. And I can just live my life, basically. Okay. All right. I opened my work email, but that's fine because there was actually nothing there for me to do. Let's do this. So the best reason to write a 100-word story, or to write 100-word stories if you've never written them before. Ooh, that's a good subtitle. Excellent. Thank you for stopping by. I am going to be signing off here in about 15 minutes, so no worries. I will be back Friday morning. I'm going to try to do my Friday morning 8 to 10. I'm going to discuss that with my wife. But Friday morning, if you're able to, 8 to 10 a.m., I will be doing sprints, actual sprints. I will be writing a Friday fiction story, which I already have, raring to go, very excited. It's going to be this one, Keeper of the Books. And this is a newsletter swap person that's down there that's going to be in that newsletter. But this is the image, and I'm going to be writing a story based on this image on Friday for my Friday Fiction 2.0. I think it's the fifth Friday fiction story thus far. So if I click here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it's the sixth one actually. I've done 5 Fridays in a row, so this is the sixth one. Very excited. And I also just implemented my 100 word stories where I'm literally just numbering them. I'm not giving them a title or anything else. But if you click on each one, it is a 100 word story. It is not sent via email. So the only way to read these is to come to my actual page and see them. And there is no set time, rhyme, or reason as to when they get posted. I do them whenever I feel like it. So I did do 3 in a row. I did not do one yesterday. I will do one today. And then I do share them on my Instagram. So that's why I always put in my emails that if you're not following me on Instagram, you should be, because there's a lot that goes on there. So my 100 word stories do get published here. And then they also get cross published on my Tumblr. So let's refresh this page. So here is my Tumblr. I have a lot of things cross-publishing here because it turns out 90% of my website traffic comes from my Tumblr page. So I want to make sure that I am being as active as I possibly can without actually using Tumblr myself. So I have Hootsuite and my website and Zapier, all of these things coming together in order to auto post things to my Tumblr that I don't have to. Let's see my notifications. I'm not going to look at my messages on here because it might be a private DM, although I have a feeling I know what it is, but I'm still not going to. But yeah, so I am actively promoting this over any other social media. So I highly suggest that if you have social media, Instagram, that you follow me on Instagram, because I've got things happening here. And I just did this guide for my Friday Fiction 2.0, which I love that they have this feature. And so I'm going to be posting all of my Friday fiction on here so they could be all in one lovely little slideshow, if you will. So highly suggested. Whoa, that is a unique cover. Nice. Actually, I'm gonna like this one. It's a sweet cover, right? Okay. Stop getting distracted by social media. trying to be clever here, so give me a second. Exactly 100 words, which is what I was going for this great piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little snippet that says, if you want to read more 100 word stories, you can read them here, etc., etc. So my goal was to write the best reason to write a 100 word story in 100 words. And I did that. So let's get this in the cycle for October 25th, number 63. And I wrote that in 4 minutes. I'm going to add a line, and then I'm going to put some dialogue down there. But let me grab this subtitle. Paste that there. And let's, oh wait, I need to add the image here. What was it 65? God, I forget that quick. No, it was 63. There was something else I wanted to put there and it dropped out of my brain that quick. Oh. Okay. So let's put a button here. Damn. I don't know what the link is to get it. Here we go. And I'm going to turn this into a link. As well. Okay. I wish the link color was a bit more pronounced. I wonder if there's a way to do that. I have to check. And this is going to be going out on the October of 25. So let's schedule that. Let's first put this image here. I wish this would stop like going to no one and then I have to like remember now to put allow comments from everyone. So October, I don't know why it keeps defaulting. All right, so October 25th, 8 a.m. and send to everyone. Okay, and then we are going to also post this on my website. And then we'll be done for the day. I'm going to write my 100-word story off stream because I need to go eat. I'm starving. I am starving. I'm thinking I might want to add that extra bit on here. From here. And then I'm going to add a button. Just a regular button, nothing fancy. And this is 100-word story archive. The button color will be black. that will be white. Medium is fine. Open the link in a new window. Copy this, says this is the link. Where do I put the link? Oh, here it is. There we go. And now we're going to schedule this for the 25th. What I love about this is, I think you can see this on the screen, it puts these blue dots here, and these dots let me know where I have posts already scheduled, so I'm able to easily see that something is scheduled for the 10th and it shouldn't be. I have to look at that. Like, what the heck do I have scheduled for October 10th? That should not be there. But I can see like where my Monday, Wednesday posts are, and then these two here will get filled in with my Substack for fiction writers, the 4th and the 6th. But this one is going to drop in here, which means that my entire October lineup for posts is good to go. Which is, like I said, what I like. But I need to check that October 10th. There should not be a dot there. So I need to go figure out what in the heck that is. And we will do that right now once I put this here. So it's a 2-minute read, which is great. And so now let's go look at these posts and see what the heck I have scheduled for the 10th that I shouldn't have scheduled for the 10th. Oh, you know what that might be? It might be my draft, which I'm gonna delete. No, it's not my draft. So I'm just gonna trash this because there's really nothing here. Right here, where to find people who love opening emails. Where is that supposed to be? It's supposed to be on November 10th. Not October 10th. Okay. It's a good thing I noticed that. All right, so we should be good to go now on my personal site. I can take this and move it to post it so that I know it's done. See, all of these that are sitting here are ones that I need to write and then put in and then drag it over to post it. So I have more than enough sitting here that's going to cover me for the rest of the year into next year. And then I still have these which are ideas for Substack specific articles to write. Each line is a different one, so I have all of those that I need to write in the future. I also have this which is filtered to just newsletter, but if I unfilter it to show everything, you will see it goes down to 52. So really it's like there's 51 articles here for me to write, and then there's someplace else where I have. So I've got like so many that I have not written yet, which I need to get a handle on. So I am going to remove this because it's written now. And so I need to write this one, and then I have a couple other ones that I'm going to be working on to write. But so far so good. I have this filtered to just show me that, but if I do this, it will show me like everything, such as my Friday fiction and the emails that I send on the 1st, which is the 1st edition stuff, etc. But that will be all for me today, guys. I did my 2 hours. I will be back on Friday working on my Friday fiction and posting that and doing all the things there. So in the meantime, I will catch you guys Friday morning. If not, have a lovely weekend. And then I'll be here Monday. Monday, I should be working on my novel stuff again. So I'll be all about Scrivener, all up in Scrivener, because I want to start writing the prequel, the prologue chapter, and then all of the chapters and etc. Because I do want to finish this novel this year. So Monday I will return to Born from Blood, book 1. In the meantime, you guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for everyone who's here. Welcome everyone who joined the server. Hopefully we will see each other on there because I'm there 24/7. And